Sorry about that. I must have been muted. Is it on now, Watch Apprentice? Sorry about that. How about now? Still muted. Hold on. How about now? StreamYard got me again. All right. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. Good to see everybody here. We got Sean in the house, the most fashionable man in the watch community. Logan Hall, the longest tenured member of the watch community that I know of. The Watch Apprentice coming in from the UK. Whole milk. Gorilla Time, George. Always so good to see you all. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. It's fun to come over and talk with you guys, chat about watches and all that stuff. Chris Clues is in the chat. Good to see you guys. Yes. So, how's everybody doing? We a little bit less exciting week because we're not coming off of the New York watch time show or the Vegas get together. So, a lot of people had a little bit less exciting week. Had a lot of drama in the streams, I guess. So there's always that. But what are you gonna do? Everyone's looking for clicks and super chats and stuff. So they get a lot of drama that way. Nice to see Negroni unbox his Daytona last night. I know he's been waiting for that for a while, so congrats to him. I see everybody super chatting him up to get that unboxing done. Thomas Burnett's in the house. Hey Thomas, how are you, sir? Good to see you, sir. Hope everything's well with you. Tim G, let's go. Yes, the OG is Logan Hall. Yes, he is. He is the OG of the Timmyverse, at least. Like, Timmy says he's his first subscriber. He's been on there for when his little icon comes up for his monthly super chat. It's like a long time. So good for you. And again, this is no money. This is just chatting. People who do this for a living, support them. Support the people, support the channels that you like. I support two channels. I've told you guys before. I support Timmy and I support the Gringa. I love the Gringa. She makes me laugh. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, her content's not as good." Nah, I like it. Makes me giggle. Her little live stream for Halloween with her friend. I subscribed to her Instagram, but I can't remember her name right now. That came on her Halloween costume was to be Gringa. I thought that was kind of funny. So you had two Gringas on the screen, but I've always enjoyed her content. So Whole milk, very wise words. Yes, support Mark by buying a Jeep now. Hey, I'll even take a Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, or used car. We've been selling a lot of used cars lately, but the used car wholesale market, and Sean, I don't know if it's the same for you. Nobody's buying. Even like things that you think you stole, that you think you're way back of the money on. It's like not a lot of bids. We've had many cars with no bids. Just Logan Hall. Yes. Now, technically, I did buy a watch off of Teddy, so I did support him in that way. I did buy my Longines Spirit Zulu time from Teddy, so that was my support for the tiny wristed rat bastard himself. Sean says Marcus definitely off. Yeah. New car traffic has been down. We're still selling some, but it's been down the last, the last month was a little bit of a shocker new car wise, but we definitely sold a lot of used cars. There are people looking for used cars, but the wholesale market is just way off. And I've noticed a few more of the we'll call them the gray market used car dealers, like the independents and stuff. A few more of them local to me have closed. So it's a tough market right now, but it's kind of a buyer's market for watches and cars. So there is that to look forward to. I'm looking forward to after the first of the year probably make my next purchase because I think the market will be right for me. Excuse me, when I get a little tea at that point, and we'll go on from there. So, but other than that, we got all our good mornings out of the way. So I had a watch sent to me I'm supposed to do a review on. So I will do an actual kind of like film up a review of it. Probably, I mean, it won't. Trust me, we're not talking Oshin quality here. These are, but these guys sent me a watch, and let's go. Laurent for Tim G says the Whole Milk says I'm sure Toyota is still wanting over retail, rat bastards. Yes, I'm sure they are. Tim G wants to look at the Laurent Ferrier Classic Original Terranium. Well, let's take a peek because I don't think I'm familiar 100% with that watch. So I know that this is a brand that George Varghese likes. The Origin Titanium. Is it the Opaline? That's what's showing here when I pull it up. Let's go. Laurent Ferrier Origin watches. Ooh. I think these are pretty. I like everything I've seen from Laurent Ferrier that George. Let's see. Why is their thread not working? I'm telling you, these watch companies could use some help making their websites work better. Yeah. Huh. Weird. Let's try this one. Nope. Interesting. Let's try a refresh. Nothing. Weird. Weird. Keep trying to get in on these, and let me pull one up on Chrono 24, maybe. Huh. Laurent Ferrier, their actual website won't let me pull it up. But let's pull up one of these Opaline dial ones. I'm kind of a fan of the Opaline dial. I like the little spot of red in there. That is a good looking watch. Very kind of basic dress watch, chic, if you will. Let's see if we got some specs on this bad boy. 33.5. It's an expensive watch. Expensive. It's titanium. This one's unworn 2022. And they don't give us a lot of details. Not a lot of details on this listing. Let's see one of the other listings. George Varghese in the house just in time to look at an LF. I did pin the StreamYard at the top if anybody wants to join the panel, but I will also put it back here in the chat again. Always good to see everybody here. We got 20 people in. That's great. Thank you guys so much. 16 upvotes. Don't forget to hit the like button and upvote the stream. But we want to see if this one gives us a little more details on the actual watch. So it's a manual wind, titanium. This one's listed for $34.9. 40 millimeter case, so kind of a normal size watch. Nice to see. George Varghese, do you have any experience with this one? With this Laurent Ferrier? You being our LF guy? Be curious to see what you think of it. I think it's a very proper looking dress watch. It's not super exciting. It's it's a Mark watch. Something just sort of cool. George, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a just kind of a cool watch. These are when I think of dress watches, I think of things like these sector dials and small subseconds and just sort of the watch itself. Sean's asking about the Phillips auction. I was working yesterday, so I didn't get to catch much of that coverage. I did see that OC had some had pulled up. Was that Friday or Saturday? Had pulled up auction coverage on the community stream, but from what I've heard, I mean, your hype pieces are doing well. Some of your other pieces are down a little bit. I'm not one to say that the market's in a free fall or that it's crashed or that it's over or anything like that. But I think your big hype pieces are always going to do well. I think we all know that. George will tell you, Gorilla Time, that Rolex is always a safe bet. For you if you're looking for something you can get out of later, and you're looking at pretty good stuff. Speaking of pretty good stuff, it's Brian.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Brian. How are you, sir?
I'm tired, man. Oof.
Well, you guys had busy time. Busy time. You guys, this is your
Yeah.
weekend to come down and crash a little bit.
And then we went to a annual fall hayride picnic, weenie roast thing last night. And yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I did. I spent an hour raking leaves this morning after breakfast. I have so many leaves. I'm surrounded by huge oak trees. Just completely cover everything. After the stream, I get to go put them in the bag, so that'll be fun.
If they're still there.
If they're still there, yeah. Well, there's still there's so many leaves on the ground. I look up at the trees, and there's still so many leaves yet to come. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long year.
Yeah, we're at the. This is the point of the year where I fill up the yard waste trash can and 10 bags each week of leaves.
Yep. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. And that'll go all the way until I'll still be dealing with it all the way until January.
Okay. Oof. So at least when it gets sloppy wintry, I can push them out to the curb and just have them plowed away at the end. The last batch we can just get plowed. Everyone has their secrets.
I always wear my Laurent Ferrier dress watch while raking leaves.
There you go. See, I was just going to ask what you think of the Laurent Ferrier. It's very odd to come on the Lucha Betting Mark program and see a beautiful $30,000 watch. Speaking of beautiful watches and beautiful people, George, what's going on?
All is fine, sir. All is fine.
Good. Good to see you.
You
Mathis
too.
has been calling you out for a week.
Dude, I got my boxing gloves on. I've sweated. I've lost like 8 kilos. I'm on the floor every day doing 100 push-ups, and he's just gone missing.
He just disappeared.
This is what happens with these Miami wannabe boys,
Yes.
They flex, they chat, but they don't turn up. Shut up, Mathis.
The Colombian cartel just, people just disappear.
They just disappear. You just don't see them ever again. The Watch Apprentice, he spent an hour this morning unblocking a drain pipe. Oh, that's no fun at all.
Dear.
No, that's just bad times there. Bad times.
I hope he's
I spent an hour smoking a pipe this morning.
See, Brian's clever, eh?
Yes. So, did you guys watch any of the auction stuff?
Only the first day when
the first day
Saosi broadcast it as he does. Bless him. I just think the stuff that was supposed to go high went high, and the other stuff went reasonable prices. The thing with those places is you have to judge the buyer's premium, which says 25, 28, whatever it is. Then you've got another birthday present when it comes into the country of another 20%. So you're looking at another 50, 60% on top of those prices, plus insurance, plus shipping. So it can get in my eyes a little bit ugly by the time you get that piece. If you're there and you're going to pick it up, it's perfect. But
All right, so follow me on this then, because I've thought about this before, because I've heard about all these prices, and I've watched in the past when OC would put the auctions up, and they would talk about all the fees and stuff. So when I see something that's really rare, that somebody would want to add to their collection, I understand that. But then you see some that are kind of, they're hype watches, but they're a little bit normal watches, like things that you could buy in other places. And I always think to myself, does it make sense to do that through an auction and pay all the extra money on top of that you're going to end up paying to get that watch?
If I respond to that, then Brian can put his response as well.
Yeah. We'll go in age order. Go ahead.
He's funny. So I'll go before my father. So basically, I find if you're going to get a rare piece, it doesn't matter about all the charges. But if you're going to get like a Daytona Neo vintage, after you add up all the costs, I haven't really seen a positive gain. So you get it for 22,000 or 18,000, right? And you think, wow, that's 600-700 under. Then you got to put their buyer's premium. Then you've got to put shipping and handling on top of that, depending, and insurance where you are. Then if you're, say, in the UK or any other parts of Europe, you've got to pay import VAT on top of that. So that's 20 to 25%, not unless the piece can be passed as vintage. So at the end of the day, for me, looking at those auctions, if I'm physically there and I can pick it up and leave, it could be a deal. But if I have to bring it in, not so much, unless it's a really rare, specific piece. That's my take.
I like it. I agree. But I see some of those watches selling, and it just always boggles my mind. Unless you're somewhere where you absolutely can't get it.
Yeah, that as well. But I mean, everybody can travel to get their piece. I don't think you can't get any piece. Just got to be careful with the premiums that are bashed on.
Yes. George Voorhees.
Good morning, Gorilla Time. Good morning, Brian.
Sir.
Good morning, Mark.
Speaking of high-dollar auction pieces.
Brian's wit is so sharp,
Oh,
I'm worried about him.
He's a pistol.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And for 75 years old. Can you imagine when he gets to 80?
Oh, my God.
George, listen, I'm so old I remember the first Elizabeth, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude.
Oh. How's everyone today?
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
I'm being lazy.
Doing fine. So I couldn't resist. I was just just hopped on the stream and I saw you guys were talking about Laurent Ferrier, so I couldn't stop.
It's like a bat signal for you. I put knowing you'd show up.
Right. And I think was it Tim that was asking about this?
Tim G was asking about it.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with this Origin line?
I don't have I have the limited edition, the series micro rotor. So
okay.
It's just like one step ahead in engineering than the classic, but all LFs are really nice, to be honest with you. And everybody says it's a dress watch, but like I have worn it doing errands and chores, and I don't see a reason. But these days, Mark, I don't know if you know, but people wear jeans and a sport coat, and pretty much anything goes with it these days, right?
Because people dress differently now. They really dress down, even corporately. You don't see as much of the over the top dress suits and stuff. Everyone, you see a lot of sport coats and jeans. That's one of my favorite looks, to wear.
Right.
That type of thing. So I think you're right. You can, and I think that because watches have become a real watch has become something rarer to see in public versus your Apple watches, and such, that you can pretty much wear whatever you want with whatever you want.
Correct. So today this weekend I decided to give my Romain Gautier a little time on the wrist. I haven't worn this in months.
Hold on. Let me make it big here so everyone can see it.
There you go.
Oh,
I think you guys have all seen this one. This is the Romain Gautier, the Continuum Edition, the DLC version. I'll take it off and show you.
That's a pretty watch.
Don't they? I believe they call that the poor man's FP Journe.
Maybe.
Oh, check it out.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. All hand finished from the master himself, you know.
Oh, so, that's really.
And for us old guys, I like it. And for us old guys, I like the colors because we can read the time.
You read it easy, exactly.
Don't you want to wear that watch the reverse way and go out?
Oh yeah, I know it. I know it's just like a Longa, right, George? You want to wear it the other way, don't you?
Oh, look, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so
it really is a gorgeous watch.
Hasn't gotten much time, so I thought I'd just kind of hop it on the weekend. And I bought one more for you guys. I was wearing this weekend. I had a little get together at the house yesterday, so I thought I'd have this on. I'd surprise you. Hold on one second. Give me a second to put it on. This is an oldie but goodie. But you guys seen this one, right? The Patek 5180G.
That's
the white gold, open-faced Calatrava.
And I thought you were going to be wearing your Quartz Seamaster 300.
That's gorgeous. What's the movement? What's the back on like that one?
Oh yeah, let me show you. Let me take it off.
The back is worse than the back is worse than the front.
Right. Okay, you guys can see the back.
Oh,
can you see that? So it's a total open work from Patek, and nobody really knows this is a Patek unless if you look really carefully at one of the rotors, and it says Patek Philippe on it. So I thought sorry. Let me see if I can just get my fingers out of the way. But there we go. It's hard to see it. I'm sorry, but I showed everyone this before. So
that's a gorgeous watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a piece. Sorry, George, that's a piece you could watch. You could look at that all day.
Yeah, it is actually. And I bought it in the gray market about a year ago, and I got it. They don't make the white gold version. They make the rose gold. But the white gold has been discontinued. I think the MSRP was like 110, and I believe I paid like 62 for it. So yeah, and just the hour. I mean, it's one of those where like you have to appreciate it to enjoy it. But I just think when Patek is doing all that work, they're not going to be exactly mass producing these, and I think in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, people will look back and say, "Damn, that's a really fine specimen of an open work project from Patek." So, you buy what you like, right?
Right.
And you buy what speaks to you, and this is something that you don't see on people's wrists, all too often. Yeah. So, me, I like to buy stuff that are crazy, not a little bit out there, kind of like Brian, but
Brian's definitely out there and crazy, so that could see
exactly. I'm out there, but I'm all hype, baby. All hype.
All hype.
That is a definite acquired taste of somebody that is into Patek and into what a timepiece should be. So if I saw somebody in the wild that I say, this guy is really, he loves his watches. He's not a hyper guy. And that also explains yourself, because I know you like to buy whatever. I think if there was a kangaroo skin watch with a skeleton dial in red and George liked it, he would buy it regardless of the manufacturer.
And I just want to show you guys how thin this watch is real quick.
I saw that.
Super thin. Look at this.
Oh,
thing.
wow.
It literally just floats on your wrist, to be honest with you. So it's like I said, it's a pretty nice watch. I wore it like most things with like a jeans and a dress shirt or something, and looks fine to me, just like the Laurent Perrier does. So
that's beautiful. That is an absolutely gorgeous piece.
Oh, thank you. But
both, like I said, it's not as you shared with us are really totally different ends of the spectrum.
Oh, sure. It's not for everybody's taste, and I understand, and what little taste I do have,
I think you have pretty
No,
good
you
taste.
got it at a good deal as well. I mean, compared to the RRP, you got it half price.
Yeah,
Practically.
exactly. Exactly.
What else do you want?
Yeah.
George,
I'm doing, George. I'm looking at what pieces will remain in my light years when I'm like above 70, kind of like at Brian's age. When I get to that age, I want to make sure that I keep 3 or 4 pieces.
Yeah.
You mean above 80 if you're talking Brian's age?
I don't know. He says he's 75. He could be younger. I don't know.
In America, we have a tradition that we subtract 10 from our actual age.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. My teeth fell out and broke my hearing aid. You little fucker.
But this is a good question, and this is for Mark as well. So forget you're the host, bro. You're part of this now.
Oh no.
What piece when we're older and we're slightly slower and slightly blinder, and hopefully we're not wearing Pampers, etc. What piece do you think you'll be wearing out of all your collection? Have you thought about that? And let me tell you, it's not going to be a Submariner, boys. That's a heavy fucker. Yeah. Excuse my German. It's something to think about.
It is. I mean, I've often said if I only had to have one watch, it would probably be an Aquaterra, because I just love that watch for an everyday piece.
That's my idea of hell, is having to wear a Swatch Group shitter.
Shitter for the rest of your life.
I just think I'm just such an enthusiast. No matter how old I get, I still want to put one of my nicer pieces on myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I can barely lift up my left arm. If I have to put it on a sling, I'll still wear a nice watch. It's just like you can take the hobby out of the kid, but you can't take the kid out of the hobby, right?
It's
so
true.
We're all, we all enjoy these pieces, and we know that there's pieces in our collection. I know everybody has them, and these I'm showing you today are staying in mind.
Right.
That I'm going to wear until the end, and then the next generation will figure out what they want to do with them. So that's just my point of view.
Well, I mean, that's
I think that's gonna. I think everybody goes through different stages of watch collecting throughout their journey, and you've got some unique pieces. So I think you've got a good choice there, George. You haven't collected 50 subs. You haven't collected a whole bunch of GMTs. So GMTs, Brian. So I think it's good. Yeah. I think it's good.
And the interesting thing is like I said, I've got rid of almost all my Rolex except for 2 that are the most sentimental to me, and I don't miss any of them.
Yeah,
I don't miss a single one of them. I don't look back and say, God, I wish I kept my GMT. God, I wish I kept my Sky Dweller or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? I just don't miss those. And what I miss is I missed out on that. What I feel more sad about is I missed out on the Laurent Ferrier, their series limited edition one with the racing colors. I missed out on that, and a few other the independents. That's what I feel actually more sad about than getting rid of my Rolexes. So
true.
You know what I really feel sad about?
What's that?
Was that a week or so ago, while we were at the dinner, I didn't just happen to slide a De Bethune Starry Nights into my pocket and walk out the back door. Nobody would have noticed because everybody was drinking and cavorting, and
Gorilla Time, you should have been there. That was a great time.
You know what? You're right. I had a situation where I'm going to have an operation and I couldn't travel, so. I got kidney stones and I'm going to have an op in 20 days. And I didn't want to be on the plane having kidney stones for women landing. So I thought, let's get that out of the way. And next year, you guys have to take specific life insurance when I get there, because we're gonna try a lot of crazy things.
And the same with you, Mark. You should have been there as well. It would have been great to see you.
I know. The thing was, I was planning on either going to Vegas or New York, but the new job, it's hard to see. So we're open on Saturdays, obviously, in the car business. So with the new job, it was kind of hard to be like, hey, you know what? I need this weekend off and a couple extra days with it. So I'm making plans for next year, definitely.
Yeah. And for all the punters in the chats, it's a must do just to meet all of you and just talk and have a cigar and have dinner and put like names to faces and just hang out, so many good people, everyone was, we met up. I think they did a great job. I think OC coordinated everything really well. We met at Booker, then had a private tour. That was really nice. Didn't you think so, Brian?
There was enough scheduled time. And then there was enough unscheduled time so that you could have your own organic whatever.
Yeah.
And you could bring your wife like I did and have time with her and do our own stuff and then come and see the group.
Right. And it was so great to meet the fellas from the UK.
Oh yeah.
Jamie and Eric King Ben. I mean, those are, those are just really nice, the Watch Apprentice and Dodger. Mrs. Dodger.
Yeah.
What a classy lady.
I got a roll of hobnobs and I'm almost done with them. It's going to be sad.
Yeah, it was just a great time and the weather was great and it was just awesome. So
Vegas is a great place for something like that because you have something to do. There's so many things different. We're regardless of what you like to do, you can find it there, and it's just so when you're not in the organized events, you have so much, so many places. I've won a number of trips to Vegas through Chrysler over the years, and always enjoyed myself there.
Yeah,
and like Chrysler products, the trips didn't break down.
I don't know if you're speaking of Chrysler, Mark. Do you remember Lee Iacocca?
Oh God, yeah.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. I still have like one of it. Yeah, I still have one of his old books on my back home. Yeah. It was a pretty interesting read from back in the I think it was the 80s, right?
Yeah. So Lee Iacocca did everybody thinks of the K cars, where they made everything off the one platform. But what the two things that he did that were really interesting at the time was he invented the minivan. Chrysler came out with the first minivan, and he brought back a convertible, an American-made convertible that hadn't been around forever, and added those to the line and just started building from there. Those cars were.
It was pretty interesting, but
yeah.
And the other cool thing was it had a chance to meet Logan Hall. That was kind of a highlight for me because he was one of the first people I met on the streams when I first joined a couple of years back. And what a very nice guy. We went out, over at the Caesars, the Forum shops and bought some stuff, and just a really nice guy. So just overall, just a great experience and just great hanging out with everyone.
I think he does.
Even Brian, and Brian is the same. Go ahead. And Brian is the same person you see online as he is in person.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm talented enough to have two fucking characters?
Brian is not a gimmick.
Nope. He's the original deal. That's for sure.
I'm a broken toy.
Nah, it looks good. I enjoyed watching the streams and seeing the videos and the pictures, and it's always nice to see people getting together and chatting and talking about their watches and their lives and stuff. It's just fun. Fun to see people with their guard down.
Yeah. I will say three things. George's Starry Night Debethune was the highlight of the watch interaction. It just barely beat out the Bucherer Tourbillon minute repeater that Bucherer let me play with.
Okay.
Two, Dr. Bob's Nightmare.
Oh yeah. Oh my
God. What a great guy, but the dude's like magical or something, because he would just appear and then you turn to look for him and he'd be gone.
Yeah.
And you had no idea. And three, I'm going to warn everybody right now. If George V is coming towards you for a hug, brace yourself, because the son of a bitch has got some arms and they clamps on this full contact.
Full contact hugs.
Oh,
That's hilarious. You know,
I think he's got a deal with an orthopedic or a chiropractor that everybody he hugs has to go there afterwards.
Oh man, I tell you, but all these guys, all the fellows, you know, I can't even name them all. They're all so cool, so nice to hang out with. And, you know, me being in my 50s, you know, what can I possibly talk to from a guy in their 20s like Buckley? But you know what, we had a great conversation, and you know, it's just friends meeting friends, and
Absolutely.
And that's what all it's about. So I can't really complain too much. And Dr. Bob, what a hilarious. I remember when I first met him, we were coming out of like the cigar bar, and he just showed up, and he's like, "Hey, you may not know me, but I'm Dr. Bob's Nightmare." I'm like, "Holy shit."
It was funny because when he introduced himself to me, I turned to him and I said, every time I see you in the chat, I just want to reply back as I'm Bill W.
Yeah.
Because I understand his reference.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a little talk like that. I turned to say something to somebody else, and I turned back to Dr. Bob's Nightmare, and he's fucking gone again. I was like,
he's gone.
Just poof.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
How many people would you say went this year?
Oh, what'd you say, Brad? About 23?
No, there was 32 at the Saturday night
really?
dinner, and there were some people excluded from that. So I think there was a total of about 40 in town.
Really? What do you guys predict next year?
1 million.
1 million watch.
1 million.
Maybe 100, I would say.
There you go.
I think if next year, which will be busier, I think it's got to be a little bit. I think I was talking to somebody else about this. I think the only things that need to be tied down are maybe the lunches or the dinners, because after that, people can split off and do their own thing. You can't be 60, 70, 50 people all together. That's crazy, you know?
Exactly.
See, but Limey George, here's the problem, and this is why we kicked you guys' butt in that little revolution we had.
That little one,
you guys all want to queue up, stand online, and have a schedule, and we're Americans, man. We just go wherever.
Dude, I need a schedule, dude. I'm lost. I am a lost person. You need to give me a map, a schedule, and a clock, or give me a watch, and then I need that. Otherwise, I'm lost.
And this is why we won the revolution. We saw your schedule.
Correct.
You were going to be queued up, and we just shot at you.
There you go.
Shot at you. There you go.
But you know what's funny? I think Vegas is one of the best places to not have a schedule, not have a watch, and just go out and do what you do, because there's so many interesting people, and you meet them also at the table.
Yeah.
If you gamble. Unbelievable stories.
And in honor of whole milk, I got my my Norcane out, and I'm putting it on now.
Nice.
Perfect for leaf raking.
On the screen, BW, who we have a lot of the same watches. He's the only other person I know that has a Zenith Defy Skyline. And then I re-picked up a Swatch Group shitter that I regretted getting rid of. Was my Legend Diver, and he actually has one here. He sent me a picture of his cross hatches on his crowns. So thank you, BW. Anybody wants to send me Luchbetic Mark Talks watches on Instagram? If you want your watch on, we'll send me a message over there. We'll pop it up for you. So thanks for sharing that. But George, I had one of my salesman's grandmothers made stuffed peppers.
Oh.
And he brought me one for lunch the one day, and I was thinking of you because we were talking about meatloaf and stuffed peppers and stuff, all the old classics. I was like, oh, George would love this. So a grandmother made stuffed pepper. How do you beat that?
You know, Costco, I love their stuffed peppers. You know, they have those occasionally. The only problem is my wife hates them, so I'm the one that's usually ending up eating all 8 of them.
You eat them all, yeah.
What are they using to stuff them, like mincemeat and stuff?
Yeah, and rice and
oh, that's a Greek dish.
Yeah.
That's an old Greek dish.
It is. It is.
With vine leaves as well, George. Mark.
Yes,
traditional,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good. They're just I don't get them that often. So when you have one, you're like, oh, it's good. And I was thinking, like, George Voorhees would be very jealous because we were just talking about these.
Like there's nothing like in the dead of winter having like meatloaf and mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying, Mark? There's just nothing like it.
There's just
nothing like it.
Comforting and warm and nostalgic and everything. It just it does it all. It clicks all the boxes. But I like it. I was so happy. I was like, oh, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And
the one more thing about the Vegas getup, I thought I thought the Wynn was really a nice location for everyone to meet up, because some people were staying at Caesars, some people were staying at other hotels, but like the Wynn seemed like it was the hub of everybody's get together. So it was a pretty nice place, actually.
Did you stay there as well, George?
Yeah, I did. It was actually quite nice. If you book early enough, that's the key. You have to book a little early. If you book early, you get some pretty good prices on them. Plus, they included, I think on my package, it includes like breakfast for every night that you stay. So and their buffets are out of this world, to be honest with you. The Wynn buffet for they don't even call it breakfast, they call it brunch, is really outstanding. And I know a few guys went there for dinner, and I saw what they were having. And I mean, I had brunch that day, and I did Small G and I and Boston and Double Crown had brunch there, and we didn't eat a damn thing for dinner, because we were still stuffed from brunch. So
yeah, they had to switch to brunch because if you got up in time for breakfast, that means you're old in Vegas, and they didn't want those people.
Yeah, that's probably true. There is probably some truth to it.
Or you're not around. Or you're not around for breakfast. You're still gambling or whatever you're doing in Vegas.
It was funny because it was just before Halloween, so we'd see all. I'd be like coming into the room at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you see all these people in costumes, and I'd take a second look, and I'm like, that's not really a costume. That's actually what they're wearing.
Their clothes.
George, did you go up to them? I like your costume, dude.
Yeah. Or even worse yet, girl, that costume leaves nothing for the imagination. I'm like, man.
That's funny.
It was hilarious,
I think next year is going to be a blast, regardless who's there. I think the community on this side are very, very they're very large, humble, and good people, whatever the person is. And I think there is no one that went there, and I've heard up some stories offline, and all positive and good and friendly stuff, that everybody was there to help everybody, and it was just about supporting everybody and catching up and love. It sounded like an amazing thing.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, George. It was just like basically meeting people that we otherwise would never have met. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like I told many times before. It's always nice to attach a face to a name, and and just finally say, "Hey, I'm George. It's nice to meet you."
Exactly.
And nobody, like I said, there was nobody there that I'm like, oh my God, what an asshole, what a person I'd never talked to, all
that's because I didn't show up.
Oh, come on. And I thought, like, when we were all there, when Alex got his root beer, that was the coolest part, because we were all there, and we were all, took time from our schedule to make sure we were there when he got his
nice.
his root beer. That was really cool,
Very cool.
and you could just see the smile on his face, and that's pretty neat, I thought.
Yeah.
So, all in all, great trip, George, in the UK. Next time, Gorilla Time, you got, we're counting on you.
I'm in the Middle East, bro. So for me,
are you? Okay.
I'm in Dubai because I go from Dubai. I go Dubai, Europe, and UK. I'm like a triangle. This is my life. And I have to go all the way to the UK, have a day to recruit and meet some people, friends and family, then a 12-hour flight. So it's like, for me, it's like a long, I have to, definitely if I go, I'm going to make sure that I'm not just, when I get to America, I've got other things going on. I can't just go for 2 days. It's crazy.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm definitely looking forward because at the end of the day, my watch group are these guys, and I don't really talk about watches with other people because I don't want them to think I'm some sort of freak. And
Right.
most people in my circle have just got an Apple Watch or stuff like that. And I don't judge people. This is life. These people are living their life, and they don't really care about watches. So you don't really vet someone. What watch are you wearing when they're not a watch person? But in terms of watch crazies, this is it. So it's definitely on my schedule and on my forecast to come and meet. But I have to time it well. I'll probably might get there earlier.
Plus, George, think about it this way: being in Dubai, you could wear any watch you want anywhere. What a nice feeling versus London, right?
You know what? That's a really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because when I'm over in Dubai, you're just a nothing there with. Just trust me,
Right.
whatever you're wearing there
That's
is
right.
insignificant. But then you go to the complete different extreme when you hit Europe, London, or Paris, when
Right.
it's a real conscientious thought, because I speak to my wife. She goes, you know what? Don't put anything on. She goes, because that can be confused what you're wearing with something else. So to be honest with you, I go naked when I go to Europe. I just have my phone because I don't need the headache. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm always on the go. I could be at a bar, I could be at a hotel, and you just don't need it. But again, you're right, George. When you're in the Middle East, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because you could be in a hotel flexing that, oh, look at my rainbow Daytona, or look at my whatever piece. And then someone to come down the stairs, the elevator, with something that you've never seen before and think, damn. So it's good in a way. It gives you the freedom to enjoy your stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's bad about the UK because, and it's not, we shouldn't say it's the UK, so to speak. It's just cities in the UK, some cities. When I was there to watch a soccer game, and I was in Birmingham, and another big city in the UK, and I felt really safe. I really felt safe. I just think London's got this terrible reputation, unfortunately, and I don't believe it's as bad as people say. I think people glamorize. I think people glamorize the theft thing too big. I think it's there, but it's like any place. If you look for trouble, you'll find it. If you go out trying to flex, you'll find it. I don't think it's that bad, but who wants to take chances, guys?
George, based on your understanding of what's going on there, is it predominantly, in your opinion, all this watch crime and stuff confined to London proper?
It is, yeah. I mean, the irony is I travel all over to meet people, and I went to Birmingham, Manchester. I felt totally relaxed of what I could have done or what I could have worn. But I just had this feeling in London getting on, because I've learned to take the trains everywhere. They're quick, they're fast, they're effective, as opposed to driving everywhere. And I was on the trains. I didn't feel anything. I felt comfortable. I often fall asleep watching a video, listening to music. But I think when you get into the heart of London, because there's many cultures and because it's very cliquey, I think who's watching what, and people have kind of scared everybody in London. That's another thing, that doesn't help. But generally speaking, I think the UK is a safe place to wear a nice timepiece, but there are some hotspot areas. And
I think that's
unfortunately, yeah, that's right. That's right. So you just, as long as you don't go out wearing a t-shirt with a bright gold watch, standing there in the middle of, I don't know, outside Kensington or Knightsbridge, you'll be fine. But I don't think it's the whole of London as well. I just think people put this image up that London's terrible, London's this, but you just got to to have some intelligence and be aware of what's going on around you. Be careful.
Right. You have to be aware of what area you're in, and if you're just out, if you end up, it's no different. Pittsburgh has bad areas. There's areas that you are a little bit more cognizant of what's around you, and what's the people that are around you and stuff. And I think it's the same in any city, really. But I think that the media And I don't want to start a war with Paul Thorpe, but I think Paul Thorpe, in a way, these people that have an agenda prop up this fear.
He has identified a few hotspots, but I think he's maybe overcooked it, and that's not good. I was with a friend of mine from India. My best friend's from India. They moved back from London to India, and we were on a train going somewhere. And
you have immaculate taste in friends.
Well, I speak.
Yes.
They've taught me a few. They taught me a few Indian words like pesalelo. And
hey! We won't have any of that shit on this stream.
No, that's not swearing. That means take the money. I thought you'd appreciate that, Brian.
That's what
so
you
listen,
think.
We're on a train, right? And he's wearing a black GMT. And I said, dude, are you trying to get a shot or something? Yeah. We're going into the heart of London. We're on the train. And he said, shut up. I don't care. And he said, who's going to take this off me? Yeah. And because he's got a positive attitude, and because he's conscientiously not aware of what's going on, and he doesn't care, trouble's not going to find him. But if you've got it at the forefront of your mind, oh God, I'm going to get snapped. I'm going to get snapped. Paul Thorpe told me this. Paul Thorpe has identified some areas, but it's not as bad as the media put on. You can still have a good time as long as you're not a fool and go and advertise your stuff. That's a very long answer to a very short question from George. I'm sorry, George.
No, you're good.
You're good.
If you really want to screw with, watch salespeople or watch thieves, be left-handed and wear your watch on your right hand, because none of them look there.
Ah, there you go.
That's very clever.
Yeah, clueless.
True. That's very true. That's very true.
So, I just wanted to answer BW's question. Was there any calamity in Vegas? Arrests, thefts, fights? The only calamity was me losing my money on the roulette tables. Damn, it was all Goldfinger's fault. The story was it was all Goldfinger's fault. I was riding the wave, I was winning, and then all of a sudden Goldfinger bets on black, and then everything went down to like the Titanic,
Oh geez.
And everybody was like, you don't bet against your brother, and I'm like, come on, Goldfinger, what the hell are you doing? The little fighter walked in, I'll put on black. And then I had like a stack of chips, and all of a sudden black shows up, and I'm like, damn, we were running on red like 4 or 5 times, and then all of a sudden Goldfinger shows up.
Yeah, and the other thing that I will say is that there is not one soy bone in Diego, because I laid into him hard all 3 times I saw him, with just picking on him and terrorizing him, and he took it.
Good for him.
And that was the interesting thing, were all the side conversations. I tried to, talk to everyone that was there, and it was just so nice to have a little private conversation with everyone that was there. Jamie Opulence and I had a 10-minute conversation. We didn't talk once about watches. We just talked about life,
Oh, cool.
And he told me about his life story, and I told him about mine. And same thing with Diego. We never talked about, watches or anything like that. We just talked about life. And that was actually the most, enjoyment I got, to be honest with you, Mark. It was just, like I said, it was just a nice time to talk to people and everything. And Mark and Brian and I talk all the time. I call him every so often. And, I pretty much know Brian pretty well, but, all the other people that I haven't talked to as much. And it was just nice. Just, hey, how are you doing? How's your family? What's going on? Things like that.
See, and that's how I know all those Indian cuss words, because that's what George calls me.
Dude, I was baptized hardcore Indian cuss words. I could tell you some stories. We will leave them till we meet. Meet.
Exactly. But hey, George, are you going to the Dubai watch time over there?
I can't. I'm actually. I've left. I'm on a flight, and I'm destined for Europe for some meetings. So unfortunately, I said to Tim that if I was there, I checked my schedule. If I was there, I would have hosted him in a good way with my boys. But unfortunately, can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm a bit upset because it would have been an easy thing for me, but it's in the middle of my schedule. I finish work relatively early. I finished the 15th of December. Everything shuts down for me. And it's crazy now, if you can understand, because if I'm finishing on the 15th, I got a lot to do. But I may see him in Switzerland.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Mark, you got to come as well. Mark, you got to make us. We want to see you in Vegas, Mark.
Yes. I definitely want to go to Vegas next year. I'm actually planning a day or two trip up to New York City in December. I've never gone up around Christmas. It's always one of the things I wanted to do, to see see it all festive. And so I'm kind of planning that. So I mentioned it to Tim. I said, we'll have to grab lunch or something when I'm up. So that'd be cool. But Brian, how tall are you?
That was another subject of conversation.
I heard Brian's tall.
So I have orthotics in my shoes. The orthotics had about an inch, so that puts me with shoes on right around 6'2".
Okay. So, because I don't consider myself to be tall. I'm 6'1", but I have a lot of friends that are much taller than I. You know what I mean? So I don't consider myself in the tall stratosphere. But I was looking, and I was kind of comparing everyone to Diego and Tim, who had an idea of their heights. And I was like, geez, these guys, there's a lot of not so tall people there. And then I see a picture with Brian standing there. I'm like, well, Brian looks like the Jolly Green Giant. Maybe these people are taller than I thought. And Brian's like 6'5".
No, but every time there was a group picture, I knew I had to go to the back. I did when I first met Diego. I leaned over and I got him under the arms to hug him, and then I just picked him up off the ground, and his little feet were dangling.
That's great.
That's a good one. That's a good story.
Yeah. I would have picked Buckley up, but if I did that, his pants would have ripped because they were so tight.
Jesus. Oops. You know what I thought would have been was something maybe we could plan in the future is like a meetup like in Geneva and do like a tour of all the
the
houses there. Yeah. I told my wife if she was remotely interested in watches, I would love to go to like Geneva, stay there for like a week and go visit all these Patek museums and and all these independent brands and all these watchmakers there, and they're really open and friendly. They would love to show you their factories and just something cool to do, or even just go up to Glashütte in Germany and see all the watchmakers up there. But oh well.
I don't think I'm allowed at any Swatch Group factories.
You've not been a friend of the Swatch Group.
I'll just stand it. I'll be down the street at the coffee shop waiting.
Right.
I will be visiting all of these Swatch Group factories.
Yeah, I would be too. Well, now that we have
George, your wife's not a watch lover?
No,
George?
no, absolutely not. She's
same as mine.
Yeah. That's why I think like the streams are so good, because in reality, George, how many people are into watch collecting, right? In the world, right? There's not many, to be honest with you. Probably, 1% or less than the whole population.
Finite. Definitely finite.
Yeah, very, very, very little. So when you meet people who have the same tastes and stuff, it's always nice to have a conversation and enjoy a drink and share, what's in the collection and the passion and how you went about buying your watches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, because when you're going out buying these expensive pieces or any piece, and you're getting multiples of watches, you start to think sometimes, am I obsessed? Am I mad? Have I got a problem?
Exactly.
And then when you come across some other collectors, and they share the same intensity of collecting, and then when you see some big collectors, and you think, I'm practically normal. These guys have got a problem. They've really got a problem.
Yeah.
The one thing I always do is I always say, well, I'm not Boston collector yet, so it's not that bad just yet.
I imagine Boston, right? I like Boston a lot. I think he's a true gentleman.
Everybody, what a true class. I mean, he's
really I don't think anyone can say he's a very humble gentleman, and
very much so.
He is not on. He's typically your perfect gentleman. Doesn't talk bad about anyone. He's a pure, loving guy. So I had to say that for what I'm going to say next. I just picture Boston when he's not on stream with these 2 laptops and he's like working out numbers in Excel and he's running all these figures and he's got another desktop looking at what the market's doing. That guy is completely the Matrix, complete Matrix. And these
can I tell you,
George?
Can I tell you? I had the opportunity to meet him for the first time in Vegas. He's as humble as he is kind.
Yeah.
And he's very down to earth. The one thing about him is I've always said he's a great dictionary and a reference to have in the community. You can reach out to him and just same thing with Brian. You can reach out to them, pick their brains, and they're very honest and straightforward people. And they'll tell you the truth about the watch and the price and whatever else. So, he's just as nice in real life as he is on the streams, and he knows his stuff really well. So that's the only thing I can say. And I would, and and I'm sure Brian can say we can both double vouch for him and his integrity. So
yeah, he's good people.
I met him first last January and walked him into my AD and made all the introductions for him. And it helped him get a certain watch that he likes to wear a lot.
Mm-hmm. You know what? If you think about it, there's not really in our community if you look at throughout the ages, whether it's Buckley, Diego, who are younger, all the way up, there's not any assholes that are here. There are people that occasionally come and go, drifters, so to speak, no relationship what they call Tim, but people that come in and out. But for the general people that have been here for some time, they're all genuine people and they all try to support it. And I find that's a feeling across the whole platform here. So that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just like to add that I would not walk across the room to say hello to Cam or TPG.
There you go.
Those are that's my 2 bridges too far.
I don't think Cam's a regular. I think he's got a little bit of growing up to do, and then we'll consider how he forms. He's just got his first job, which bravo to him. He needs a little bit more cooking. He's a little bit raw yet. I think he'll mature a bit more.
As I told him on the stream one time, I said, Cam, you're the reason why I want my 25-year-old daughter to grow up to be a celibate lesbian.
Fair.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
I'm worried about George, that I'll end up with Brian probably as a roommate in Vegas. And it'll be like one of those movies. We'll end up in Thailand somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. You didn't hear that part either. I don't do roommates unless I'm married to them.
Yes.
If my wife
use your imagination.
No, if my wife wasn't at the weekend, I would have been staying at Harrah's in a $79 a night room and just been in there to shit, shower, and shave. No, I don't do roommates.
We laid the gauntlet. We'll see what happens. I think we'll have great fun. But as I was saying, I think everybody from young ages to middle ages and people to the age of whatever are getting on really well. And I think, I was gutted I couldn't make it, but I think next year will be a good year. Hopefully there won't be any terrible things happening in the world more than there are now.
Yeah.
So we can all, because it's just ludicrous, what's happening in the world. I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to reference them. But hopefully things will get a little bit more calmer because it's a crazy world we live in. And that's another good reason for these streams, a break from reality.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you were on during COVID times, George, but those were actually, good time, relatively speaking, those were the times when these streams really helped out because we were all stuck in our houses, right? We couldn't go anywhere and do anything. And these streams would provide a means of just seeing other people and just talking, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, and now I'm looking at RMs because Cars is
Oh,
that rose gold is so pretty to me.
it is. And I was thinking, that photo they took of all the watches on the dinner table. I don't know if you have that photo, Mark, but if you do, if you could pull that up.
Where did they put it?
I think Tim may have had it on his, but I'm not sure. But it was all those watches there. I mean, I think that was what would you think, Brian? About $3-4 million worth of watches on that table that night.
I think somebody actually did a serious thing and said it was like 2.8 million.
Yeah, I would have guessed that much at least.
And I mean, 350,000 was in one watch.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That was the nice thing, was I'm sitting there with a full gold Rolex and going, well, that's one of the cheaper ones. Okay.
Well, see, my satisfaction was if somebody walked into the room, mine would be the last one they picked out because nobody knew what the hell it was.
You're right.
It looked like a swatch, from the 80s or the Halley's Comet.
Yeah, the two ladies' date just would have been taken before yours.
Exactly.
Mark, it may be on Tim's Instagram.
I don't see it.
Or Boston's. Not Boston, OC's.
So I see.
I'll look at Diego's too, because I think he had the sex pile.
Diego's. Let's see.
No.
I'm not seeing it. Huh. Interesting. Oh, well, we're trying to find that.
Yeah, I think I have it on my phone. I can just hold on one second. Let me.
You put it into the.
Go to the Real Cars and Chrono. There's one shot of it there.
Okay.
With the watches being held face up and one or two being covered. I think that's it.
Did you guys find it?
How far down is it there, Brian?
Fourth one. It's underneath the you'll see the Tim Wright menu is the first picture.
Oh, okay.
And then scroll to the third picture.
I just sent it to you, Mark. So if you want to see it, I just sent it over on your Instagram.
Yeah, and Johnny 5, I won't fit in Cam's imaginary helicopter.
There we go.
Yeah. See, George, look, center of the picture, mine and yours right next to each other.
Yeah.
So you're saying about 2.8 million, they said, in watches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was where the serious number came in.
Okay. That is a lot of watches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just for quick reference, if you blow it up as big as possible and zoom in, somebody's holding Cars's RM.
Yep.
Yeah.
George, I don't even know where to price your Starry Night at, but I would assume that's 80 to 100.
I think that would be fair.
There's.
Then we have a platinum Daytona there. Did you see that?
Yeah, there's a Platona up on the very top next to a platinum day date.
Yeah.
And that
looks like a smooth bezel. That must be OC's.
Yeah.
Is that 5726 to the right?
No, I think it's who wore that? I can't remember who wore that one. Let me see.
On the far right is Boston's 5980.
Okay.
Next to an Armstrong that was absolutely beautiful. That was AC Morgan's, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And isn't Jamie Opulence's which one is the World Timer? Is that on there? I
think that's got the brown strap.
Is that the brown? I can't see.
Yeah, it's the brown strap one, I think.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, next to
so that's
next to Double Crown's AP.
Yeah, next to, and underneath Double D's Vacheron. Yeah, so you start overlooking the solid gold Rolexes and you go to the interesting ones.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just go to the interesting ones play out.
Yeah, so I think that's about 2.5 to 2.8. I mean, there's a white gold blue dial Daytona just flopped down there in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of root beers and subs sprinkled in, Yacht Master here and there.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
And I didn't even put out the 3 other watches I had in my bag.
What was in the bag, Brian?
Yeah.
So I took 4 watches and I thought, all right, I'm taking watches that I know nobody else will have.
Okay.
So I wore that night, I was wearing the green dial yellow gold GMT because I knew no one else had it.
Mm-hmm.
I had my Patek 5960P, which I knew no one else had that. I'd picked up the IWC Patronus.
I love that watch.
And had that because I knew no one else had it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had my 1970s Mickey Mouse automatic watch.
Oh.
And I should have pulled that out for the sex pile just to
Yes.
throw Mickey Mouse in there. But
just to get him in.
I think that would have doubled the value if you did that.
Well, let's see. I paid more for the service on that watch than I did for the watch. So,
oh wow.
Guys, I'm going to shoot. My football game starts, soccer game for you guys. I got to go and watch that. Nice speaking to you, gentlemen, and let's keep in touch.
Always an honor. Always an honor,
Thank you,
girls.
George.
Always an honor.
Absolutely.
You too.
Cheers.
Always good to talk to you.
Cheers.
Thank
Love you all. Bye-bye. Take care.
Be
Bye-bye.
safe.
All right. So while you
And I'll
guys
have
were
to
in,
do it, Mark. So I'm
Okay.
sorry, I got to get going for a
Oh, no, you're
Sunday
good.
morning.
I was just gonna
Always
show you
wanted to
guys
just hop on and
Yeah.
appreciate your work, Mark. And
Ah,
Brian,
thank you.
you're just a piece of work. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
too.
No, I'm not even that. I'm just a piece.
Have a good afternoon. Have a great stream.
Thanks,
Mark. Take
George.
care.
Thank you.
Bye, Brian. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So I did, Brian, you were in Vegas. I'm sure you probably saw it, but I did reacquire the Legend Diver.
Is that a Long Guineas?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the one I regretted selling. I got it from Del Rey.
Oh.
And I sent him an email, inquiring about the watch off the Luchabetic account, Gmail account. And I don't know if he knew me from Tim Stream, maybe, or something, but he dealt with me direct on a very inexpensive watch for them. You know what I mean? And he was they were great. He was absolutely great to work with. We came to a price. He said, if you can wire me the money, I can do it for that price. And boom, had wired it on Friday, late Friday, and had to watch late Monday.
Yeah,
so
he's really straightforward and simple to work with.
Yeah, real easy deal. And like I said, it was cool because I felt like I was telling someone that I said I felt like I was treated very well, even though, I mean, seriously, they have some very expensive watches on that site. This watch was listed for $1,600, and I ended up getting it for $1,400. But I also didn't have to pay any tax, and it's only a year old. It was a good deal for me. I got my Legend Diver back, and because I always regretted selling it. I sold it when I got the Seamaster, and I quickly decided that I missed the Legend Diver. I liked it better than the Seamaster. So
yeah.
And it's different.
The one thing I can say, I've talked to Fed a couple of times. I've bought 2 or 3 watches from them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care about the price of the watch. They care about the enthusiasm for the watch.
Yeah. Yeah. He really seemed interested in why I wanted it and that I had one before. You know what I mean? Like, really, and it was an easy deal. And like I tell everyone, when you come across people that are, like, good to deal with, you should let people know. and that was a good experience. And that was a good that one in the Watchbox. Watchbox was great too. BW, he got his Sin 856 from him. He's an easy guy to deal with. Very smooth transaction. Yeah, everyone I know that's dealt with him has had a good experience. So
yeah, and for the awesome Pawan, I used to date Cam's grandmother.
Oh, his grandmother. Of course.
Yeah, because Cam's 22, Cam's mother's 42, 43. So Cam's grandmother's more my age.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
What a sweet lady.
Yeah. It was an easy transaction, and I was appreciative. I was just glad to have it back. I missed having the watch. You know, I thought about looking at some of the ones with the colored dials because they make some interesting stuff. But the problem with that was that there was you can't get the mesh bracelet that I love so much on it. You know, so they do real nice. I think Stibe makes that bracelet for them. It's thick, but it fit, it's not one of those chintzy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Some of those Milanese bracelets are real thin and real.
It's
too pliable.
It's not a jingly jangly.
Yes,
it's a real bracelet.
Yeah, there's a guy. So I had to do one of the things I started doing at the dealership was backup finance when our finance manager's off, and a guy came in and was signing him out, and he was wearing a Bumblebee sub. And started talking to him a little bit, and he's got 7 Submariners. That's his watch collection.
What am I laughing at? I could have 7 different GMT Master 2s, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I've already got 4, so why not?
Yeah. They're just chatting about watches. He's like, well, I'm not really a watch collector. I'm more of a Submariner collector.
There you go.
There. All right. If that makes you happy. Yeah.
Listen, there's people in the pipe and tobacco world that are the same way, where they've got like 4 or 5 pipes that they smoke, but they've got a huge tobacco collection.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that have super huge, expensive, broad pipe collections, and they have one moderately priced pipe tobacco that they like. And this is not a race to impress the other person. It's a race to make yourself happy and enjoy what you do.
It's a true story. So, but I think IWC is probably next on my list.
I am really enjoying the Petronas.
Yeah.
I ignored the AMG part.
Yeah. But it's a good looking watch. I think
it's a lot of fun. The quick change strap is really fun to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same thing on the Zenith. It's so easy to use that it just makes it fun to swap out, between the two straps. You got what, 3 straps? Or did the third one come in yet?
Oh no, I got the third one. I got the basic black rubber. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just think this watch is, where is it? There it is. Boom. Share that tab. Yeah, I just always thought that this was just such a good looking piece.
Yeah. So mine came with the sailcloth with the green stitching.
Okay.
And the green rubber, and then they gave me the black. Then they gave me the black rubber for free.
Oh, nice.
And I may order the gray rubber that kind of matches the titanium.
Okay.
And an extra pin buckle. Because the pin buckle's a bit of a.
Oh yeah, you were showing me how that worked. Yeah, when you got it.
It's a bit of a pistol to jack with.
Mm-hmm. And that's the price on that it's a good price on that watch too.
Yeah, it's the in-house IWC movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's titanium. It's 41, which works much better for me than all the 44.
Yeah, exactly.
The editions, and and it's a day date.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 12-hour register, so technically I could run it as a second time zone if I really wanted to.
Okay. So it's technically almost a GMT.
Technically. Almost technically.
It's right there in the running. Yeah, I like that watch a lot. I'm like, that's definitely in the running. He said probably January will be my next purchase. But that watch has definitely caught the gleam of my eye. The open case back, which normally you don't get until you get into the bigger pilot watches, the 43s and up. Most of theirs are closed. They're what they would consider their smaller watches.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me see. There's also there's another fun little Easter egg on the back of it, and I'm not sure if that picture highlights it really well. But the on the back sapphire crystal, all the doodads of it and the AMG stuff is all in the same green as the green color. So if you zoom in, you can see that there's a little green haze around the.
Yeah, is that what that is? The writing?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just decoration.
No. Of course, because I'm old, it's so freaking small.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that on the case back it says Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula One team, and then it's got a big line, and then it says Pilot's Watch chronograph.
Oh yeah. Pilot's Watch chronograph.
It's another little Easter egg on the back.
Yeah, Mercedes AMG Petronas Motorsport is what this one says. Yeah. Yours actually says F1.
Let's see, Pilot's Watch chronograph, and then Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula One team.
Oh, cool. So yours is even a little bit more special because this one just says Petronas Motorsport.
Maybe I got a fake
picture. Oh, BW says he's on a watch buying hiatus for a while. He just paid his niece's college loans. BW is one of these guys that he has a lot of watches. I say this every week, but he's got a pretty interesting collection when he shows his stuff. The Awesome Paul one says, but you have to own a Mercedes AMG to wear this watch.
No, you don't, apparently. And you know how I know? Because Cam's grandmother said it was okay.
Dirk Diggler's in us. Hello, Dirk. How are you? Good to see you on the in some of the videos and pictures and stuff too. He says, hi, Mark. Glad to see you doing your own thing, man. You are the salt of the earth. I don't know about that, but your other friend is a grumpy old man. He couldn't be talking about you, Brian.
Hola, hijo. ¿Cómo está?
Nice to see you, Dirk. I always appreciate anybody who comes over. I know there's other things to watch and do, but it always amazes me because I'll get, like right now, I think there's 11 in the room. We might get into the 20s here and there, but by the end of the week, most of the streams have 300, 400, 500 views. So people are watching after the fact. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah. I do.
I put you on in the background while I'm doing stuff.
There you go. Good times.
Yeah. Sometimes I fall asleep when you start talking, but
okay. I have that effect. What are you gonna do? Everybody has their thing. But the guys, like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot of things to watch, a lot of things to do. So anybody who stops over, just know that I appreciate it. The other item you see I like is a where I saw one, but a European watch company had one, and I almost pulled the trigger on it, and then they sold it. So I was like, well, all right, it got sold, but it's this WatchMax has a new one still, and this is a limited edition. Let me share this tab. So this is a Spitfire chronograph.
That's funky looking.
It is funky looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this one, whatever, this is some sort of special edition, and they only made 500 of them. And I think they made them in like 2017, 18. And so the fact that WatchMax still has a new one is weird, but it was kind of different looking for a pilot's watch. I was like, that's kind of interesting, you know, in its own weird way. And they had it for $6,000. I think it's like a $10,000 watch. Now theirs was used, but it was in seemed to be really good. Yeah, 10,200 to retail.
And I like they did a 60-minute register at the top and a 60-second running at the bottom. So at least you get 60 minutes.
Right. The only thing I'm not crazy about is that 3 date thing.
No, you actually will enjoy that because of the size, because of the size of the broadsword hour hand or minute hand. You need that so that when it's passing around 12 to 17 minutes, you can see which date is before or after, because otherwise it would block out the date completely.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, because it looks kind of odd just in the you know what I mean? You're like, huh. Well,
yeah.
But I like the applied Arabics and the applied triangle at the top. It's just kind of a cool, different looking watch. I came across it on their website. I was like, I've never seen that or really much like it before.
Yeah, it almost looks like they took a Portuguese or sported it up.
Okay, so yeah, definitely has a Portuguese vibe.
Yeah,
you sported it up and made a pilot watch out of it.
Yeah, they put the Portuguese in the sporty case.
Yeah.
I still think you ought to get one of them CK whatever stupid things from.
I like it. So you're promoting me getting a Swatch Group shitter?
Just because I know you really like it. I really like it. I'm not going to buy it, so you should.
I do like that watch.
So I can enable you.
Okay. Chris Clues says the Portugueser is a watch he keeps looking at. I need a chronograph in my collection. Which one are you looking at, Chris? The Portugueser is nice watches. But they do give that that vibe of that watch with the dual chronograph. A lot of them. I always thought this just kind of basic gold model with the sub-seconds. There it is. Was a good looking watch. Just very basic, classic looking, classy looking watch. And the movement, which I never really, IWC doesn't get a lot of pub for their movements, but they're good. Thomas Burnett says Chris Clues by Zenith El Primero, then king of the chronographs. Yes, there's some that El Primero Sport is a good looking watch. Very Daytona-esque. And I like my Zenith. I'm still in love with my Zenith. It gets the most wrist time. Also, Paul says Fed was selling an IWC minute repeater for $27,000.
I've been looking at that. Don't talk about it. Shh. Everybody
shut up. Let's go back to the Zenith. Let's go back to the El Primero.
Everybody shut up. Every time I talk about something, it gets snaked.
Yes. You know what's funny? I was on here with George one day. The first or second show I did on my own, and we were talking. He was like, talking about Nashville Watch. So we were going through some of their stuff, and I know that you like them too. And there was they had one of the new 75th Seamaster 300Ms, but whoever bought it also paid the extra $800 to get the mesh bracelet, the stainless steel one that looks like the one on the No Time to Die. And they had that on it, and it was beautiful. And I mentioned that I said, boy, if anybody's looking for this watch, you should snatch this up, because they were asking a little under retail for it, but you were also getting an extra $800 bracelet, and I went, it was funny because I left the page open, and when I came back, I was fiddling around on the computer and I refreshed and it was gone. And I'm like, I wonder if somebody watching bought that. I was just talking to George about why I thought it was a great deal, but I have I do like this watch as well. This El Primero Sport.
Yeah. I like the boutique edition that they did recently with the where they matched the different colors of the subdials and did it as a gradient on the outside on the tachymeter.
Mm-hmm. Heard stuff about Chase Door. I used to have a Chase Door watch back in the day. Kind of a funky quartz chronograph pilot watch. Where's the boutique on there? Too many. Now I'm not crazy about the Revival. Maybe they're not doing that one anymore.
They killed it.
Yeah. Hey, Brian likes it. We're out.
Yeah. End it.
Yeah. But good looking watch. Good looking. If you're looking for a chronograph, hard to beat. Awesome, Paul. Let's see. Chris says, thanks, Thomas, for that. You give me yet another choice. My head hurts. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know. That Zenith is a nice watch. I mean, the Portuguesers are nice watches. And you can get some deals secondary on those. But that Zenith is good looking. I'm not crazy about the Aaron Rodgers edition. I didn't see that on the site. Did you see that one, Brian? Oh, there it is.
No, I didn't, nor did I care.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers has always worn Zenith, and then they picked him up actually as a brand ambassador because he was always wearing a Chronomaster. And they came up with this Aaron Rodgers edition. And I will say one thing about this watch, which I think they missed. All right. So I know he's with the Jets for, 4 plays. He wore number 8.
wait, you forgot all of spring training.
Yeah. Okay. Spring training and 4 plays of the regular season. He wore number 8, but he's most known for being in Green Bay and wearing the number 12. I would have made a pronounced number 12 at the top and then done indices instead of the other numbers. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do an Aaron Rodgers edition, everybody mainly remember, your memories of Aaron Rodgers are with the Packers for the most part.
I would have done a little more research into the person first.
Yeah, well, that too.
I'm sorry.
He's an interesting character. He's definitely an interesting character. Mike S says, I like the Chronomaster Sport with the blue dial and the stainless steel bezel. Okay, so that's, I think technically they call that just the Chronomaster, not the Sport, if it doesn't have the bezel. If I remember correct. Yeah, so let's see. The blue dial. You said the blue dial, right? Yeah, this one. So a Chronomaster is without the ceramic bezel, just the steel bezel. But I think that's a good looking piece too. Harry completely agrees with Brian about Aaron Rodgers. He is a top 5 quarterback. I'll give him that. But yeah, Mike, that stainless, that's a tight looking watch. You know, there's something to be said for the lack of bezel and just the, you know, I mean, it's a great combination. That blue with the silvery white sub dials, minute track is hard to beat. I would have to agree. Oh, next to the Rodgers. Oh, he says I picked out the wrong one. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even see this one. I didn't even know this. You know, as many times I've been on this website, Mike, I completely thought that this was just a Chronomaster. I never really investigated it that hard. So that has a stainless steel bezel. That is good looking. Good taste. Yeah, definitely.
That looks very close to the white gold blue dial Daytona, except it's a better watch because you can actually read it and it's got the date.
It's got the date. You can read it and all the other stuff. Yeah. I'm a big Zenith fan. And I gotta tell you, this thing, I absolutely love this watch. So I thought I always thought I would like it. You know, there's no Zenith dealer in town. But so I had to go watch a bunch of videos and read some articles and stuff. And I know a lot of people hate that 1/10 of a second counter, but when I got it and I put it on my wrist, there was just something about it. And like I said, it gets 4 days of wear a week, which is saying something because you guys know how much I love my Aquaterra. You know. But yeah, the Zenith, I think they do a nice job with their stuff. But do you got anything on? I mean, yeah, we won't talk about the other thing, but anything else on your radar, Brian?
No.
Nope.
Yes. No.
No, but yes.
Yeah. No. At this time, I am trying to calculate the correct move to do with all the leather strapped watches that I have, because I will not be able to wear them that much coming up in the future of my life.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I'm trying to I'm thinking now that we're in the first week of November, maybe by the second week of November, I might be able to find a gray market dealer that is interested in the leather strap stuff for a Christmas purchase, you know, for the website, and be able to relieve them of some older inventory that works closer into what I'm doing in the future.
Gotcha.
I've come to grips that I'm going to have to take a hit on some of the stuff and move on with life, you know, but such is the way things go.
Yeah.
I've also had the psychology of the fact that the Nautilus is one of the watches that I was thinking of replacing 5 watches with. So doing like a 5-for-1 deal.
Okay.
But I've also psychologically come to the point where I feel like I really don't want to pay. I don't want I don't want an above retail market valuation on a Nautilus when there's still a chance that I could possibly get one from an AD at retail.
Okay, makes sense.
So I may be going in a different direction, and then if the Nautilus that I want shows up at retail, and then I've got to, I don't know, sell my fourth kidney or whatever.
Which Nautilus? Hold on.
Plus, I do have a watch that I've been chasing after for a while, thanks to a member of the community.
Okay,
it's going to end up coming to me, and I'm very happy about that.
Oh, nice.
And it does come with a rubber strap, and it is 100-meter water resistant, so it does work into my realm.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 100-meter and multiple straps and easy. Yeah, the Zenith has shown me the light on easy change straps. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, this one that I'm getting is not a quick change strap. So,
what Patek are you looking at? What Nautilus?
I would really like the 5990. That's the travel time chronograph.
Okay. Which the blue, the gray?
I would end up with the gray because of the valuation difference in the blue dial.
Okay.
And I want to go down to just one watch that is on a leather strap and is not water resistant to at least 30 meters.
Okay.
Because if you start living in Florida where it rains about every other 30 minutes sometimes, I don't want to be caught out sitting somewhere and having to walk through a torrential downpour or be all sweaty.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, that's...
Do you have a Habring?
I have often wanted a Habring too, but I have never pulled the trigger. And the other one that I've wanted is a Speak Marin, because I like the way they look, but I've just never pulled the trigger. There's too many watches.
There are way too many watches.
Yeah. And now the wife is interested in them and now has a collection of 2 G-Shocks, a couple of older pieces from when we were not as liquid.
Okay.
And she has she now has 2 Rolexes, a Cartier and an Orkane and a Fitbit. And now she's getting into it. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm screwed.
She's cutting into your hobby. Choo. Chris Clue says, I have my great-grandfather's Zenith pocket watch with 15 service engravings on it. Beautiful.
Wow.
Watch. Yeah. That's a keeper. It's definitely a keeper. Austin Paul once saw the Mono Pusher Habring chronograph for $6.5K. Nice.
Yeah. Great watch. Water resistant to about 3 feet. And I just know for me living down in Florida, we're going to be extremely sweaty all the time.
Yes. Lots of water, daily rain.
Yeah.
So I think this is the Mono Pusher here. It's a good looking piece.
Yeah. They did a Deadbeat Seconds version.
Oh, okay.
I really liked. And they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
In comparison to what you're getting, they're not.
Right.
There's a lot of value in watchmaking there.
Yeah, it seems like it. So this is 30 meters. Spherical sapphire. Several versions available.
Sorry, I'm going to minimize the screen for a minute because I'm trying to Insert a piece of graphics.
Gotcha.
I'm doing stuff, man.
Awesome Paulinson. Lane is also cheap pre-owned for highly decorated watch.
Yeah. Lane and Langenheim and Skippy and Dippy. Let's see if I can do it that way. Oh no, that did not work. Undo. That did not work. There we go.
Dun, dun.
Maybe if I did it the right way the first time, it would have been easier, dumbass. Insert in the page. Okay. Now I gotta. I'm updating my Pipe Show website.
There you go. So another watch I like is this Mark 18 Titanium Heritage Edition. Very simple watch.
That looks like Pittsburgh right there.
Doesn't it?
Slightly dirty, functional, reliable.
Yep.
Boring,
just like me.
It's so proud of the date, but doesn't want to show it so that you can actually read it.
All good points.
Ridiculous. Oh, did I say that?
So WatchMax still has new ones. A couple new ones of this watch. I'm like, that's a possibility too. See how the next couple months go. Like I said, we'll go from there. Obviously I'm 10 grand and under, as everybody knows, and I have a thing. I don't finance them or put them on credit cards. If I can't afford it at the time, I don't buy it. And that's one of the reasons that my price range is where it is. So if I can save up for a couple months and get something done, then I get something done. But I just like to. But I like to have watches that I wear. So the things that I have literally go into a rotation, and that's the way I do it. And it's I'm not saying it's the only way to do it. That's just my way. It's just always been the way I did it. So even before I met the stream people. Gentlemen, Henschel are interesting family-owned watchmaking business based in Hamburg. Yeah. Like a little independent too. There's the RGMs. There's a couple RGMs that I really like. I'd love to go out and see if I can visit them. Small G talked about getting together because he's in Philadelphia. Maybe head out that way and meet up with him and see if I can see some RGMs in person. I've never seen one, and on the website they look good. It's hard to tell. Awesome Paul one says, I got an admit at University of Pittsburgh. I was like, did I even apply at that school? They'll take anyone. They'll take anyone. I'm a Penn State alum. So Penn State, who beat up on the University of Maryland again yesterday. 51-15. So James Franklin, the head coach of Penn State, was a up-and-coming, thought to be next head coach kind of guy at Maryland. And I don't know if they got a new something happened, new athletic director or something, but they dissed him. So then he went to Vanderbilt and actually did very well at Vanderbilt before he came to Penn State. And when Maryland became part of the Big Ten, he just loves to thrash his old school. loves to thrash them, which is always a good time for me. I like it because it's Penn State. Man. And then there's a couple IWCs, Zenith on the radar. We'll see what where the deals are and what I find at the time. Like I said, I almost pulled the trigger on that Spitfire chronograph, but when I went to look at it again the next day and it was sold, I was like, probably better at this time. I hadn't really settled on it, but maybe if I go back to my roots and visit New England, I'll head over to Boston and check them out. One does never know there. But while Brian is doing stuff in the background and being quiet, I actually had someone send me a watch.
I'm back.
He's back. Somebody sent me, a company sent me a shitter watch.
Really?
Not really a shitter, but a watch I've talked about before when we've talked about American-made, American watch companies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's the Dryden, the good folks at Dryden Watches.
I don't believe I'm familiar with them.
So they have a couple of watch lines. There's nothing, they're nothing super exciting in the line, but they're kind of decent looking watches. And the one that I always said I liked on their line was this field watch thing they do. And sent me a nice note and kind of a cool leather case it comes in, or pleather, I'm not sure.
Oh, that might be a hide from the rare Chinese Naga animal.
Yes, absolutely. It does have a Miyota movement in it. I didn't know that. But I am going to make like a little video review of it. But the old case is kind of cool. Okay, it comes with a rubber strap.
Yay.
Geez. So as much as you think this box is kind of cool, it's kind of annoying when you're trying to hold it up. A leather strap, nice. Both signed, and it came on the bracelet. Ooh. So this is what it's called, their Heartlander Field Watch. It's just a Miyota movement, closed case back. Build class. Actually, the bracelet I really liked. I thought the bracelet was really nice on this watch. Like I said, I'm going to do an actual review on it. Even the crown is nice, and it's a big, thick crown, which I like. It's easy to get your fingers around.
Hold the watch by the head with the bracelet dangling down. Now grab the watch at 3 and 9, and let the bracelet hang down and jangle it. Let's see.
A little jingle.
Okay, but not bad.
But not bad. Not really bad. Which is one of the things when you're looking at these kind of things, like a watch like this, I think would be like if you had like a brother or somebody who's not a watch person, you just want to get them kickstarted. So I think something like that would be good. I think this watch lists for like $500, and you can buy it. I saw a bunch of coupon codes and stuff, so you can probably get it closer to 400. But kind of neat, kind of a neat watch. I thought it was cool. Like, I like the color. They do a number of different colors and dial variations on this one. I like this autumny looking one. But I'm gonna do an actual video review, which we'll post up on the channel. It won't be great, but it'll be honest. But I think there's a lot I like about the watch. There's a couple of things I noticed I was like not 100% crazy about, but I didn't hate it. And I actually wore it today when I was raking the leaves just to see how it felt, to wear it. And it was not a bad little watch. So we'll see.
From the dial color, if you dropped it in a bunch of leaves, you'd have a hard time finding it.
It would be very hard to find it. Yeah, because it really gave off that fall thing. You know, that whole fall. Oh, here it is right here. Let's share this one. So Heartland, they call it autumn rust is the color.
Oh, there you go.
But actually, surprisingly, a pretty stout piece. Like I said, list is 500. I know there's always coupons on these, coupon codes and stuff you can find, because we've talked about this company before. And they're not making their own movements, and they don't pretend to be, but they just kind of make some interesting watches. Like I said, this one comes in a number of different dial variations and colors. It's a 38, but it doesn't. It's not a small 38. So they do a chronograph, chronodiver, and what they call the Pathfinder as well.
Oh, so an Explorer, a Submariner, and a Daytona.
Basically, that's what you got. Yeah. But I thought it kind of a cool little piece. 3 watch straps. Where are you going? You know.
I like that white dial with the orange.
Yeah.
That's not Pittsburgh. That's very bright.
No. It's very bright. But
is that a quartz movement for 280?
Let's see. 42 millimeter. Where's the movement? Oh, yeah, it's a Mecha quartz. One of my favorite quartzes. Yeah, so that's the Seiko Mecha quartz. It's actually one of my go-tos when I look at cheaper watches sometimes. A little sailboat on the back. Nice. A little bit of loom. Yeah, not a bad piece. So look for the video. We'll pop that on there here in the next week. But special thanks to Dryden. But I'd done a community show, and then talked a little bit about it on here one day. Some American watch brands and people who do their own stuff versus people who use other people's movements, that type of thing. And it's kind of interesting to see what people were looking at and buying and doing. And I thought those were kind of cool. It was kind of a cool little piece, for as inexpensive as it is. Just seemed to work out well. Thomas Burnett, thank you, sir. Thomas, how are you? Always good to see you in the chat. BW vegan rat bastard. Yes. Yes, it is. So interestingly enough, I got a phone call a week or two ago. They left me a message. I didn't recognize the number, and it was kind of, let's grab it and read it here. Easier to do it that way. Voicemail. So basically it says, hey, this is Will from TeddyBaldessar.com. Stop calling me a tiny oh no, he didn't say that. I'm one of the top sales specialists here with Teddy. So I wanted to give you a quick call to formally introduce myself as well as personally thank you for all the business you've done with us so far. It's really much appreciated. I'd love to hear more about what's going on. No, that's not the right one. I must have gotten 2 voicemails from these people, because one of them, which I thought was more interesting. Let's see. Oh, this is another guy. This is John from TeddyBaldessar.com in Cleveland, Ohio, calling to let you know that we are opening our first retail store in November at Crocker Park in Westlake, Ohio. Which I thought was kind of interesting. They were going to do a brick and mortar at Teddy's.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's always been just online. People have asked. I know, like, a lot of questions, when he does his Q&As, people have asked if he was going to do that, but apparently he is. MJ's in the house. MJ, how are you, sir? Happy Sunday to you. So, yeah. Apparently, Teddy, the tiny-wristed rat bastard himself, is opening a brick and mortar store at Crocker Park in Westlake, Ohio. So that'll be interesting to see.
I wonder if the store will have an extra skinny door at the entrance.
He's an extra skinny guy. You have a wrist check before you go in. Sorry, your wrists are too big. You're not allowed in. I love to make fun of Teddy. Probably what in general when you watch the watch streams, probably one of the nicest people ever. Like like him and Bruce Williams. How can you find bad things to say about him, about those guys? But I did. I found it. He's pushing the small wristwatch agenda. Grr. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting that they were opening a store. Especially the way the watch market has gone and the things that he sells. So the things that he sells are watches that you find all over the gray market. Your Longines and Mitos and Certinas and stuff like that. He sells a lot of those watches that you find a lot at the Watch Maxes and the Joma shops and places. And I always wondered, how they keep up because, price wise, I don't think that they're always competitive against those guys, but they're an authorized dealer. So you're getting the actual factory warranty. So that's what I always say. You got to weigh that stuff out when you're looking at it. The price has to be different enough that you're okay passing on, like say you bought an Oris where you're not getting the Oris warranty. You're getting the warranty from them instead. So interesting to see what will be going on there. We got 15 people in the room still. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. What do we got? 27 upvotes. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you.
I upvoted 3 times.
Nice. Perfect. But MJ, how are you? Been any big bike rides lately? Doing any cycling? Did you do any cycling? When did you find somewhere you could rent a bike or anything when you were in Vegas? Friend, it was a crappy bike I rode, but we rode up through Red Rock. Is it Red Rock in Vegas? Yeah. Yeah, we rode up through there. There were actually some decent hills and stuff there. I was surprised because I just assumed it would just be flat. But we get I thought we had all the hills here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is just like a giant hill, the surrounding area.
If you could find a worse place to put a city, it's in an area where 2 rivers come together to make one, and it's all hills.
It's all hills.
And it's Pittsburgh.
Yes, it's true. It's all hills. I mean, I get why it became a city because of the confluence of the rivers and the convenience of that for people, but geez, it's a lot of hills. The dealership's on a giant hill. When you come up out of the Liberty Tunnel, if you just go straight, you're on West Liberty Avenue, and it just goes straight up. And I every day I see people biking up it, and I'm like, oof, you guys that is one heck of a hill to climb on a bicycle with traffic zooming all around you. But here's what it is. But back to this thing. So is this the 5990 stainless steel?
That's the one retails for about 70, I think.
Okay. It's a pretty watch.
Yeah. So my thought process, and this is a lot of therapy, and especially after after going to Vegas, I am reminded on a regular on every trip to Vegas. We are very fortunate and comfortable here in the Carolinas, and based off of just our We ain't uber rich, but you walk around the Charlotte area, and we're better off than most.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to Vegas, and when I get into Vegas, I look around me and think, all right, now I'm about average. And then you go to the watch meetup where one guy's throwing down a $300,000 thing, and the other guy's got this and that, and you realize, okay, so I got set in my place a little bit.
It happens.
So the thought was, again, with my watch collection, kind of the core of the collection is my love and fascination of the GMT. Oh, that's just every time I say it, I get all oogly. But I want to have one higher horology brand.
Okay.
Patek Journe, RM, one of those bigger hype brands in my mix. And I want to have room to still have an assortment of GMT Master 2s. And I know this is very, very first world problems here.
Yeah.
I've got my Chopek, which is a great independent watch and really flies under the radar, but is really comfortable and has all the bells and whistles. So I really don't need to go chasing after another independent.
Mm-hmm.
It also made me realize that I really don't want a Royal Oak or an Aquanaut, because it offers way more than the basic Royal Oak and Aquanaut.
Okay.
So then I was thinking, all right, do I condense down to one Patek? I've always liked having one Patek in my collection.
Okay.
And of the water resistant Pateks that I like, we're into the Nautilus.
Right. Which makes sense.
So do I condense down a whole bunch and get that? Could I condense down, and there's a FP Journe Octosport that Nashville Watch has had for a while. Could that substitute in as my 30-meter, interesting high horology type?
Yeah.
And then possibly take some money out of the watch collection and put it back into the family budget.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, for most average people, to wear a stainless steel Rolex GMT Master 2 is a lifetime achievement watch.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's us that are special and nuts. And at the same time, I'm also going to lose a lot of my sales history with my 2 ADs, because I'll be going out of state and they won't be able to ship to me, so I'll have to start all over again.
Right.
And so where do I start to play it? And I was looking at this Nautilus configuration and going, I like the way it balances with the chronograph pushers on the right, and then the travel time pushers on the left in that little extra left wing. Could I squeeze every extra watch I've got and get the right deal for that?
Right.
And that's where I kind of ended up on that, or maybe get Nashville Watch to do a deal with me for the Octosport and the blue dial white gold GMT Master 2, and just have the FP Journe as kind of my high horology type. And still be in the sporty style.
Right.
And then maybe somewhere down the road pick up a 3-hander Patek that would be just a dress watch to have.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. It's hard.
Yeah.
Watch collecting's hard.
Yeah.
Too many choices.
Yeah. And then I've also got a good collection of just completely under the radars, because I've got my Norqain. I've got
how do you like the Norqain?
I really actually like it.
Okay. I see that I get ads from them all the time, and I'm always like, they're interesting looking watches. Are they worth?
I think their new stuff with the Wild One line. I think that's a little overpriced for what Norqain should be. But at the same time, when you start looking into that Carbotech that those tech materials that they're using, they're still the lowest priced on the market in any of that, high shock plastic stuff.
Right.
The Opaline GMT chronometer that I've got is, it's got the Kinesi movement, and it's just a good looking watch. And I've got a rubber strap for it that I bought extra. It's it's got the 100 meters. When we travel, when we do cruises and we go into places that I'm not so sure about, I can wear this, or I can wear one of my Tudors.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I always like this Independence. Very simple watch, but
yeah.
I always thought that was.
And
whenever I travel to the Norcane site, this is one I look at. And one of the things, if you pull back from your computer a few inches and look at it, I think I know why I like it. It reminds me of the Aqua Timer that I like, the IWC.
It's got the second bump out.
Yeah. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like that other watch I like. I must be really boring. I like all the same watches.
And you can also get that Norcane plaque that's on the left side.
Oh yeah, you get it personalized.
You can get it personalized. Like mine on this one says pipe time.
Oh, nice.
So everywhere I go, it's pipe time.
Yeah.
They'll put whatever you want on there.
Mm-hmm.
I had one where I had them type in their designated smoking area. It was so small that it was hard to read.
Yeah, hard to read, but it was there.
Yeah, if anybody asked, I was in the designated smoking area.
Exactly. It says it right here. Have you ever been to Chai Panai in Asheville? Awesome. Pawan says it's the best Indian restaurant for 2022.
I love We're going to be up in Asheville in February, so I will.
Okay.
I will look at that.
Speaking of Indian food, I made. Let's see. Get back. Oh, hold on. Oh, that was George's picture. I made this the other day. I made a spicy shrimp korma. Ooh, that was delicious. Absolutely delicious. And then probably the thing that I made that I got the most compliments on, I made heirloom tomato basil soup and sort of a gourmet grilled cheese with cheddar American and Munster cheese, sprinkled some parm on top, and 2 heirloom tomato slices in the middle. Delicious. Love to putz around and cook, Thomas Burnett says Norcane watches always make me think of Nautilus ripoffs, either the large sides with their large sides. Yeah. I could see that. Could definitely see that. And then last night, here we'll do one more food picture. I made Mongolian beef. And I seared some I didn't serve it over rice. I went low carb. I seared some cabbage, a little spicy oil with some black sesame seeds to put it over. Again, delicious. Or braised it. I braised the cabbage. I'm sorry, I didn't sear it. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. But back to the Norcane. So yeah, this Independence I always thought was a good looking watch. And then there's those wild ones. Another one. It might be the one you have because I think it was a GMT.
Oh, sexy.
Yes. Just don't remember.
Say it again.
GMT.
Oh.
Here.
Oh.
That was. I have a love-hate relationship with this watch. I love to hate it. I hate to love it. I always thought that was kind of cool looking for some reason. That's the Everest GMT Glacier.
I like
There's
it.
something about that watch that just, it's different, you know? It's just really different. And it just always got me when I looked at the Norqain collections. And you hear a lot about them. So you know, and like I said, I get a lot of ads. So I click on the ads all the time because I'm just a sucker for a watch ad. And I'll go look at, you know, at anybody's watches. But I always thought that was just a nice looking piece, very unique.
Little touches of gold and the slashing, and the dial design in there.
Mm-hmm. But I was always, you know, like $4,600, $4,700. I was like, that seems a little steep for it, but I don't, you know, I don't know. I remember when they first came out, I thought their watches were kind of like $3,000 and under.
Yeah.
And
when they were using the ETA movements,
okay,
they're in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
Yeah.
And then when they switched to the Kinesi movements, the first bump was like to 4,000, and now they're in the 5.
Yeah.
And that's a little worrisome when you start pricing in at the bottom of, you know, when you start price competing against Tudor,
Mm-hmm.
and at the bottom end of, dare I say it, Omega. Yeah. There's a lot of value in these watches, but is there the brand equity to compete?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like when you look at this, when we looked at those the Chronomasters, the Zeniths, this Freedom 60 Chrono gives off some of those vibes, you know. Good looking pieces. The Freedom 60 GMT. It's interesting looking. I don't know if it's my favorite one. That's what you got?
Mine's on the left of that threesome.
The white with the red and blue?
Uh-huh.
Nice. And yours is the Kinesi, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, same exact watch, except I think when it came out, I think I bought it for $38.
Okay.
2 years ago.
I mean, comparatively speaking to some of the brands, that's not a giant increase.
No.
There's your personalization. Boom.
Actually, I may have lied to you. I think I had that watch in I definitely had it in March of 2020. So I might have bought it in 2019. Let's see if did I even put it on my Chrono 24 page? I don't think I did, because I don't think Chrono 24 has values for Norqain.
Okay. There you go. You write Luchabetic on the side of your watch.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Let's see if I can add the Norqain now. I'd have to go figure out how much I paid for it.
But yeah, I like a lot of their watches. And like I said, I look at them all the time, and I'm like, well, is that really something I need? I don't know. Roman Yossi, Nashville Predator.
We do not speak in the world of need.
It's true. It's true. But it's definitely It's in the, I think it's the Independence collection was the one that I like the best. The skeleton's okay. I'm not a big skeleton watch guy.
Yeah,
I like an open case box, but never was like, oh, gotta have a skeleton watch. But this, I don't know. And I think it's because it reminds me of another watch that I like. It's just a nice looking, very classic piece. There's some sort of texture to the dial. I really can't tell what it is, but just interesting.
Well, to prove to you that the Chrono 24 is full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Chrono 24 is valuing my Norcane Freedom GMT at $4,400.
Huh.
Let me change it to pre-owned and see what they do with it now. Not enough data. There we go.
There you go. BW says the F1 race is a circus. Red flagged in the first lap. Damn. So the Steelers played and won on Thursday night, despite their offensive shortcomings. So there are no Steelers today. So
Is the game in Germany on right now?
I think that was on this morning. That was like a 9:30 start or something.
Okay.
Let's check the ESPN guys. Oh, it's still on. 21-14. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Which one's got 21?
Chiefs.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there you go. The Chiefs are up.
I really like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Strip and score versus former. Oh, so Tyreek Hill fumbled. Interesting. There's our little football update.
Did I click on the wrong? All right, I'm trying to update my Pipe Show website at the same time, and it's giving me issues.
Yeah, Harry says fourth quarter now. Great game so far. Oh, that's right. I forgot, Harry. You're going for the Patriots next week, right? Who are they playing? I can't remember. I remember you mentioning that. You were going to Frankfurt for the game.
Frankfurt. Home of the best pretzels I've ever had.
Ah, very good.
Whew, fantastic.
I had some good pretzels in Augsburg.
There was
Indianapolis, yeah.
There was definitely not a low carb version.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Neither was there low carb beer. I don't believe they believed in light beer. At least when I was there. I was young. I was probably my early 20s because my brother was studying at the University of Augsburg and I went to visit him. But yeah, that was interesting. I liked it. It was a good time. So you got the F1 race as a cluster. You've got the guys in Indy or the guys in Germany. Harry got me thinking about Indianapolis now. That's an NFL Network game, right? I believe. Let's see. Got lots of sports on right now. Boom. So it looks like 21-14. Looks like Miami's got the ball. 2:28 left. I will say this about Miami. I love their head coach. Listening to him.
Frog.
So Austin Paul one says Norcade looks weird to me, lacks originality, like what Thomas said. Yeah, it is. It's a play on a couple different watches. I think he prefers the Corum Admiral Cup. I don't even think I know what that is. Let me take a look.
There we go.
Let's take a peek here, see what this thing is. Ooh. You know, why did this go? How about that? Oh, it's a GMT, Brian.
Ooh.
I'm not crazy about the bezel.
I'm not crazy about the giant, enormous, enveloping crown guards.
Yes. Those look like Longines Hydra Conquest crown guards.
Next.
Harry says the Miami head coach has bad taste in watches. What he's hilarious to listen to, but what's he wearing? I don't think I noticed or saw what kind of watch he had on there, Harry. He's just funny to listen to when he does his interviews. Yeah. So the Corum Admiral Cup is, I mean, it's interesting. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm not crazy about the bezel and or the giant Arabics, but it's not horrible. At least you are correct, Pawan. It is an original design, and it looks like it hasn't changed from the 60s as well. So you get that. It's not really a Defy Skyline bezel, because it's a little different. Here, hold on. Let me take this off. It's not quite as funky as the Skyline or as the Corum bezel is.
Mark, your second hand is running way fast.
It's really fast. My watch must be broken. Must be haunted. Gringa did a Halloween live stream the other day, and I chatted on there that people think my watch is haunted because the second hand is running so fast. But I am absolutely still smitten with this watch. The Christopher Ward 12, I have much more respect for that watch now than I originally did. I think Christopher Ward's doing some kind of interesting things to kind of pull himself up out of that kind of lower mid-tier range, which is interesting to see them do. Hopefully they can make something, find their niche, because their niche really was that kind of like, 1,200 and under watch, which I always thought you got a lot of watch for the money. But Alex, showed off his Bel Canto the other day, and I thought that was I was happy he finally got it because it seemed like months ago he thought he was getting it. Awesome Pawan says, what happened to Brian's broken Chopek?
Brian's broken Chopek is sitting in the watch box very nicely and was worn for a couple days last week and is running perfectly.
running perfectly. Cool. What happened when it broke on air? I heard something.
So I found out from Chopek themselves that when there is with that movement, it will wiggle the seconds hand when you roll it back.
Okay.
When you're setting the time. And that's a semi-hacking feature somewhat, but it's intuitive to the movement that if it's really low wound, or if you're trying to move the time and date backwards, it will jump the seconds hand.
Okay.
And that's just part of the movement feature. And once I got it wound, it very rarely does that, and I very rarely wind the watch backwards. So
okay.
It's just what it is. It's a quirk in the movement.
Interesting.
But I've even
what do you
had
feel about the dial? Because I know PG said he was disappointed in the dial when he got his.
Oh, I love it. I like the way it looks. I like the color scheme that I've got. I would not do the black or the solid white.
Okay.
Mine's kind of like the light gray.
Gotcha.
I like the way it looks. I think the bracelet is the winner, and the micro adjust and the quick change stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The date placement is perfect, and it's better than when I went to a special private premiere of the Louis Vuitton tambours. I took it with me.
Oh, okay.
To compare it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was happier with the watch that I owned than the Louis Vuitton.
Than the Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
That says a lot, because that watch gets a lot of pub. You know?
Yeah, the Louis Vuitton, which is supposed to be a 40 millimeter, felt really small compared to a 41 millimeter Chopek.
Gotcha. So let's see. BW says CW has nice quality for the price. Yeah, I think they do. I think they do a nice job. I worry that they're gonna stretch into more and more expensive stuff. And then you have decisions to make. Like when I said I like some of the Norcanes, but now they're like $4,000 instead of $2,000 to $3,000. That's a difference. It makes you think about other watches. So we'll see what happens with them. Wow. 4th and 10. Miami fumbles the snap. Tua fumbles the snap. 1 minute to go, and KC is going to win. Brr. Awesome Paul one says, that's good. That incident turned me off with Chopek. That quirk might have given you a panic attack or a heart attack. Yeah, it's a lot of money to spend on a watch to think that it's not working. That's the thing. And I don't care what price point you're at. They're all expensive. You know, my friends truly believe I'm insane for spending what I spend on watches. And I'm not even, I'm mid-tier at best. You know, my nicer watches. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what is going on. So you got a full slate of games coming up at 1. Harry, is he wearing a Breitling? They flashed him on the screen real quick, and I can just see the underside and the bracelet of his watch. It looked maybe like a Breitling bracelet, maybe like a gold Breitling. Is that what McDaniel's wearing? I don't know. I just couldn't say. We got 32 upvotes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Yeah, Breitling Twin 60, I believe. Okay. Yeah, it's with the bracelet. I was like, I didn't see the face. I just saw the bracelet. And I was like, yeah. So I just like his interviews. He's hilarious in his interviews. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and he's very sarcastic. Especially the one where they said through 5 games they had, broken the record for yards gained and through 5 games in the season, and somebody asked him about that, and he was like, he pointed over, he goes, that's exactly, we hit the mark. That was exactly our plan, was to have more yards than any other team in history through 5 games. So I kind of appreciate that that sarcastic kind of humor. But what are you gonna do? So, anybody else got anything? Anything going on?
I hate WordPress.
Yeah. That's true. Harry says rose gold is a bit unique, and you got to think a guy who would own that watch is an enthusiast, but just different tastes than me. Yeah. Everyone has their own tastes.
I've been thinking of adding a. Here we go. This would kill my high horology game, but adding a rose gold piece.
Okay.
Because there's a couple of the rose gold day dates that you can get that are simpler dials. You can get them on the gray market for $38-$40.
Okay.
That RM is a rose gold, if you ask me. I like the honey gold that Longa has on the one that I've got to get rid of. And I think it'd be interesting. Even Nashville Watch has a full blown root beer right now for $38.
Oh.
Let me make sure I'm not lying to everybody. Did I go past them?
They got a 2-tone for $18,950.
Yeah, they got a full blown root beer, 2021 box and papers for $38.
Nice.
And that's a $42,000 watch, I think.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Boom.
I know this is also going to shock people, but they've got a rose gold Daytona with the Sundust Diamond Baguette dial that I was looking at for $55, and I was like,
"Ooh,
who cares what time it is at that point? Just look at the diamond and gold." But I think rose gold works better if you're with short sleeve shirts than long sleeve, because it's not quite as bright.
Yeah.
Not quite as piercing. I can't get that to work, damn it. I've got to work on that page.
2021 Chronomaster Sport white dial for $7,500.
That's a good looking piece. I wish it had a micro adjust of some sort, though.
Yeah. So these are 40 millimeter watches, I believe. 41. Okay, 41 versus well, what do they call the Daytona? I know it's not that size, because everyone I've ever seen measure one on a stream or on a show has been like, "Whoa, it's more like a 37." They say 38 on the Daytonas. I can't remember.
I think it's like 30. I think it's like 38 and a half if you really squeeze down, but I think Rolex calls it a 40.
Yeah.
It depends on which model, because remember, some of them are asymmetrical, and some of the Daytonas are symmetrical.
Yeah.
Because hang on, I gotta mute myself.
Okay. So yeah, they say 40. But everyone I've seen measure one, it's been like 38. I tried one on once. It seemed small. It reminded me fit wise. I also, because the day I tried one on, I also tried on a white gold Yachtmaster on the Oyster Flex, a 37. It reminded me of the fit of that.
I'm gonna sound really snobby when I say this, but when we were in Vegas, myself, my wife, Boston, Diego, and Buckley, we walked into the Rolex at the Wynn,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a 36 millimeter Datejust with a diamond bezel.
Okay.
On the shelf for sale. I think it was a 36. It felt like a 41, but apparently I was wrong. But anyway, they had it for sale, and I put it on my wrist after wearing the yellow gold GMT, and I was like, wow, nice lightweight sports watch. What happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go from a 228 gram watch on your wrist to 80 grams, and you're like,
whoa,
where'd it go?
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a difference. Awesome Paul one says Breitling is basically the Seiko of luxury watches. They don't believe in any exclusivity. Yeah, Breitling never really spoke to me. I mean, there's some that I look at like they're okay, but I just never got it. Harry says agreed. Awesome Paul one. I will admit I like the look of their Super Ocean launch last year. So I found out it was powered by an SW200. Good movement, but not in a $6,000 watch. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Sellita movement, but geez, it's $6,000. But Sellita movement, that also reminds me of another watch I like. Hold on. Because there's a Sellita movement watch.
But see, what you guys don't understand is that the more you pay for a watch, the better it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just the more you pay for it, the better it is.
There you go. So this is another watch I always come back to look at here. The Vertex M100A. And that's powered by a Sellita movement. I think it might be an SW200. I can't remember.
And how much is that? How much is that turd? I mean, watch.
2,500, 2,600, something like that. Let's see. 26. But it's not 6. 40 millimeter case. Where's the movement? Why aren't they saying? It's a great size. 40 millimeter case, 20 millimeter lugs, 48.5 across. The movement. There it is. SW216-1. Yep. But that's another one I always go back and look at here and there. That's one you don't see very many of them used. I'm always like, if I can find one of those around $2,000, I'd probably buy it, But getting up closer to 3, not as certain on that. BW has a 20-year-old titanium Breitling Aerospace. It's a great watch to travel with. Thomas says Breitling are a brand to buy on the secondary market. They do some really great watches, but their prices are very obtainable on the say. Hey, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't go to the AD for a Breitling. They are a little expensive. Let's see. Is this the watch you're talking about, BW? That's an Aerospace Evo. I like the look of the new Chronomat. They make that GMT that I always thought was a decent looking watch, but again, at the price, I'm like, similar to that one. Okay. So there is a Chronomat GMT. I always thought this was a decent looking watch, but I just don't know about the money. Because the bracelet's different. It's kind of interesting. And the dial's, very easy to read your GMT hand on it. What is it? 15? Yeah, $6,000. I just don't see $6,000 in that watch. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, if you're crazy, put me in the same asylum.
That's stupid money. Yeah, it's just stupid money for that watch. For all of these. That one reminds me of the Breitling Emergency. Cool in its own way. Yeah. But this Chronomat GMT, I always thought was a good looking piece, but like a good looking $3,000 piece, maybe not a $6,000 piece. I don't know. I think at that point I'd rather look at other things. I'm not sure. Let's see. This one might have different movement in it. There's a Breitling 32. Is this one of the movements that they share with Tudor, or is this? Honestly, not sure on that.
I just found a typo on my web.
Who did that?
Me.
Let's see. Ooh, here's an old Breitling that BW has. I'm telling you, BW has a secret watch collection that is amazing. Because every time we start talking about a watch, BW is the only guy I know that also has the Defy Skyline. He has the black version. But
I wonder if BW is old watch lady.
Just seems like every time he's talking, he's like, "Oh, he might want to." He pulls another one out of his hat for us to take a peek at. I appreciate it. He's got a really cool collection. He's got good taste too. Like we have similar watches. We have some similar watches, so it's cool. But yeah, it's interesting to see all that. Close out a couple of these.
Wow, I'm so lucky. I just got contacted by a lawyer from the European Union saying that I have that I'm the beneficiary of an estate.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I can finally buy that watch I always wanted.
See?
Oh, delete.
That's a 1970 reference 2002. Cool. Harry says that's a cool watch. I love it. Yeah, it's good looking. And again, some of the Evan G has a B01 chronograph that's cool looking. I mean, they make some interesting watches and some, but I just say again, it's just one of those. I'm like, well, if I was going to spend that kind of money, why wouldn't I just get something else? It's where I always find myself. There's a lot of brands like that. Especially when they up their prices and move. The Bremont's one, I never understood the price of those. There's so many things you can buy instead. There's really not that much unique about them. Unless you're a Brit and want to support the home team, I guess. I don't know. I just don't always get it. Don't always get it. Yeah. What's that? Somebody sent me a message. Hold on. We got that. Okay. Oh, apparently there's a community stream running.
Okay.
Go over there and upvote. We're way up on them on the upvotes, I guess. I don't know. but that's all right. I'm gonna wrap this up here in about 4 minutes, 3 hours in. About 4 minutes. Finish my leaves. Yeah. Not looking forward to that at all. They're the worst. And I'm sure that everything there, I'm gonna have a lot more raking to do into my piles anyway, because even when I was coming in, I was watching leaves fall. It's just like, oh, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Get out there with the leaf blower, you blow a nice pile, and you go to get the trash can and the trash bags, and you come back and the wind has blown it all back.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of it. I mean, there's these oak trees dump so many leaves. The leaf blower only works so well. You got to do some raking too, because there's just too many, and they just pile on top of each other, and they over the back deck and the front porch and the yard, and at least the backyard. I have kind of this big cement block. There used to be a second house on the property, and like a small guest house. And it's been gone for 30 years, but there's one big concrete slab left from that I kind of use for the backyard. I'll use that for a burn pile,
We're not allowed to burn here.
Or
we're not allowed to get caught burning.
There you go. Well, what I do when I burn, since it's on that slab, I throw a couple of lawn chairs around there, and I'll just sit there like I'm having a bonfire.
We had one of those $40 or $50 metal fire pits from I think we bought it at Lowe's or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was using it to burn leaves and branches and stuff. And our neighbor came over and said, "Hi, you're gassing us out with all this smoke."
You're gassing us out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of smoke. It's a lot.
So the only time I ever burned in there was after that was I used some leaves to start a real fire with some real decent sized logs, and I only ever used branches and logs.
Gotcha.
A couple times we've been here where I've gone out there to rake leaves, and I'm cleaning up the leaves and digging around under the leaves, and then there's a snake sitting under there.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
You get some snakes here. Usually just little stuff, but I'm not a snake guy. Snakes creep me out. They absolutely creep me out.
I have a deal with them. They stay outside. I stay inside.
I remember one got in my mom's car once. She had her sunroof open, It must have come in off one of the trees because there used to be a row of huge pine trees over by my driveway between mine and the house and my neighbor's house, which we've since cut down. But it must have. Her sunroof was open. I'm assuming it came in off the tree and into the car. She gets in the car and she, I guess, freaked out. I wasn't here, but she still tells that story. Of the snake in the car. But on that, we are at 3 hours of streaming. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope anybody coming in late hits the upvote. Looks like we're at 32 upvotes. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate everyone's support and watching. And again, it's just free watch chat, just hanging out, talking about watches, food, cars, whatever. It's good stuff. Brian, it's always good to have you on.
Yeah, it's good to hang out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, like I said, I got a couple of trips that I want to make, but one of these times I got to get to the Carolinas, or if you move to Florida, you know, you get a few, stop by. I got a friend who lives in Orlando. So I told her, I said, one of these days I'm coming down and I'm going to take a trip over to see Mathis.
Oh, wait. We know that's a special friend too.
Yes, that's a flight attendant friend. Yes.
Yeah, special friend.
Yes, special friend Jennifer, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas Burnett.
She can't hook you up with watches, but she can hook you up with free little bottles of booze on the airplane.
See, there you go. You know, you always look to the positives. Danner, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. BW, always good to see you. We'll be back next week at 10 a.m. Dr. Bob, good to see you upvoting.
See, that's what I said. He just shows up and then he disappears. You're like, where the hell did he go?
Dr. Bob. So he used to show up. Sometimes Dr. Bob and Mathis would have like old pictures of me as their avatars, so that was always fun. But BW, enjoy your Sunday as well. Thomas Burnett, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate all the subscriptions, the upvotes, and like I said, I got this watch to review, and hopefully then we'll have some other stuff to do just to make things a little more interesting here and there. And I appreciate it. Brian, thank you again.
Yeah,
it was good to have. We had the Georges on earlier as well.
Yeah,
George Varghese and Gorilla Time George. And,
it was good to have one of the Georges on.
Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it. And on that note, I'm going to hit the out music. Maybe if I can find it. The rock and roll song. Boom. Man. All right. See you guys.